Expedition33's UI is kind of terrible. Let's go over why that is. But firstly, hello everyone, my name is Edrem, animatronic puppet VTuber and content enjoyer. The content I've been enjoying lately has been Expedition33, which I've been streaming live every weekend on Saturday. Amazing game, slowly getting through it. Act 2. But I did want to bring this up, seeing as I do work in UI design, how terrible the menus are in this. Now, the combat menu, relatively okay, although there's one little thing that I've seen that probably a lot of you have also noticed, but the pause menu, this one, is terrible. It leads to confusion. It leads to people not understanding things. And I kind of want to go over why this is, and also comparisons with other games and how you design things to be intuitive to people, right? The two other games that I want to bring up examples throughout this is Persona 5, another turn-based strategy game, and Final Fantasy 6, another very, very old strategy game. Both heavy influences on this game, right? Both very heavy. But to start off with, let's start with one of the worst things here, and I have seen people run into this actually, where they don't even notice it. Or they don't notice the problems it causes. If I was to ask someone, hey, what do I currently have selected? What would you say? Now, if you've played the game and you've, dealt with this, you've probably been able to notice it now. But for newcomers to the game, or someone that's just trying this out for the first time, it's very, very hard to know where I'm currently selecting, right? Where is my cursor? What is it doing? It's really, really hard to know that because it's an extremely subtle effect. I'm selecting Luminer. And the only way you can know that is that she has a slightly animated thing around her character name, right? It might even be really hard to see, for example, because this is a smaller screen inside the video, so it's even smaller. But she is selected. But also, her character name is darker. It's more semi-transparent than the others because she's not in the party, so it makes it even harder to do this. And this is one of the big things that I'll give for Persona 5 is when you want to make menuing clear in games, you need to make things bright. You need to make things stand out. You need to make things animated. If you can do all of those, even better. This one here causes a lot of confusions because until you move, it's very hard to know where you are. Once you move around, it can be fine. But I have watched one person do an entire 6-hour stream never knowing that they can actually select the characters and only going and doing things through the journal in inventory, which is amazing to watch, by the way. Amazing. So that's one of the big things, is that the contrast between these different colors, or between what you've selected, really bad. Persona does a really excellent job of this, where the color of menu items you've selected is very bright. It's very animated. Even with someone with low vision or color blindness can very easily see what's going on. Same with the older RPGs. They tend to make things very, very high contrast, especially because you had those low resolution displays back in the day. So there. This one, it's too subtle. It needs to stand out more. Anyway, we'll get to the second thing. But first, I just want to explain a little bit of a concept, right? Let's go into Luminer. So in menuing, we typically have this idea of drilling down, right? So that means you've got one screen that lets you select different options. You go into that screen, then you get options related to that. Then you get options related to that, and you drill down, right? In this case, we've got the party screen. We select Luna. We go to weapon. Now we have the weapon screen where we can select a weapon, right? We drill down. And this is also where this game is different to other games, is that most games have a different starting point. They don't go straight to the party menu. They might show the party, yes, but they'll have different things. This will typically be where you have like items, skills, equipped, save, quit game, stuff like that. But already here, we're kind of confusing things because we've got the party menu and we've got the inventory and the journal in the same space. So they're like conflicting because they're two different things, but we're accessing them in the same area. Another thing is it's kind of, it's a bit confusing of you shouldn't have lists that don't go in the same direction, right? This is a sideways list, right? It's a party list, goes horizontal. That's completely fine. This is a separate list. It's weird. It's up the top left here. In order to get to it, I just have to press up from any spot here. But this one is an up and down list. It's a bit confusing. It's more like you wanted to have this here as a display of things, but you also needed to have the journal and inventory. You look at other games, they have all the options up first. Then once you select an option, then you select a character. This is the other way around. You select a character, then you select what you want to do with them. Which brings us to this page, because this one is absolutely terrible. Right? For starters, standout that I've noticed is a friend of mine who was streaming the game didn't know where wardrobe was. Game did tell them in the beginning, yes, but it is incredibly easy to lose it because why is it over there on the right? What is it doing? It's just this weird lone button in between attributes and luminers. The other thing straight away that you notice as well is where am I currently selected? A little bit hard, I will admit, on this screen because it's a little bit behind the puppet, but same. Bad contrast. It's hard to know where you are until you actually start moving around. So right off the bat, let's get a few things out of the way, right? So this is more of a dashboard screen, right? It presents lots of different information about a character all at once, which is typically fine if it's like a summary page, right? However, the problem here is that it's also being used to navigate through things. Right? The stats on the right hand side are completely fine because you don't interact with them. They're just there. They're just details. It's fine. But all these, you do interact with them. And that's why it becomes confusing because the layout of them becomes confusing. Right? Like, why is weapon here? Why is pictos underneath it? Why is skills this a separate little bit over here? The layout is all just kind of all mismatch over the place dashboard style. With special honors going to the Luminer display that is an incredibly short list in terms of height, but has to display all of your luminers in a way that I think 0 people have ever interacted with. Right? Almost everyone that I know that plays this game is, if they're going to do luminers, they're going to go into the actual Luminer screen. That's another thing of, you know, if you have drill downs, let people drill down. Put the information in the drill down. This is better than that tiny list down there. Just one of those things of they're putting too much straight ahead. They should have let you drill down more, right? If they're going to display the party list first, you select a character, then you select what you want to do. You select weapons. You select pictos. You select skills. You can give a summary here, but have a separate list to actually go through and edit them. Because this is a summary page that also is meant to be the way you navigate, and it's kind of confusing of how you navigate around things, right? Like, you have to go all the way from left to right in order to get to wardrobe. So there is that. Now, there's a little bit here. We'll get to pictos. This one, not that bad, but we'll get a minor complaint to this, is the iconography in this game is kind of poor. Shouldn't say kind of, it's absolutely terrible. To the point where I don't think anyone actually remembers or knows what any of these icons do. And that kind of sucks because it's like, well, that's their purpose, right? They're not just there to look good. They're meant to be something that you can very quickly visually pick up on. I'll give Final Fantasy examples of this, right? Where you have spells that have an icon next to them to tell you what kind of spell it is, right? Like, oh, this is white magic. Or, oh, this is black magic, because you can immediately tell based on the icon. Same with Persona 5, where you have like, oh, what kind of weapon is this? Or what kind of item is this? You immediately have the icon next to it, so you can tell. It's very visually clear. These pictos, right, that little diamond display, it's kind of just mush in my brain, right? I'm not processing anything I'm seeing here. I'm not recognizing anything. You kind of just forget it immediately. You may get a little bit out of the color, although I'd always say having color as your main thing is terrible, especially for colorblind players. But there's not much here. Second to that, and something that I've kind of seen people pick up eventually, but it has to be pointed out to them, or they'll completely gloss over it often. I know there's tutorials, but people easily forget tutorials. They need to see it actually being done. Is the way you learn pictos, right? It's not an EXP bar. Like, it's not a progress bar. It's a weird progress square. Okay, so these pictos I've all learnt. So they're corners. I'm gonna put the mouse in here. That's, you've learnt it once, that's you've learnt it twice, you've learnt it 3 times, and that's you've mastered it, right? That's your 4 battles to learn your picto. It's an okay way to display it, but again, it's not really visually clear. It's alright. I would wish that it would be something far more pronounced, right? Something quite a lot more visually telling, like, hey, you've mastered this. Maybe even something more animated when you have mastered it. But it's okay. The way that they've got the menus where you don't actually have the icon color, it's faded out for the ones you haven't learnt yet. That kind of works. It serves its purpose. Again, it's not great for colorblind people or people with low visual acuity, but it's there. It's not too bad. Same with skills. Skills, not too bad, but then again, you don't really deal with that many skills, right? So there's not too much overload here. The icons are still not that great, but I kind of put that down to them being very, very small. And you kind of get a feel for it. One thing I would say that is quite nice is that this skill selector here, right? These are all in the same order as what they are in the game, right? So Assault 0 is here. That's my first ability. That's my Y button. Or X button. Whichever one's the top one. It's a bit confusing because I play with a controller that has the button mappings reversed. But you know what I mean. This is in the same order that you actually get in the game. That's a good thing, because that means it's mapping automatically in your mind to, hey, if this is here, that's where the button should be. Let's get to Luminers. I've seen a lot of people have a lot of time spent in here trying to figure out things out. Now, one thing I would say that I've already seen a lot of people suggest that would be pretty good is to have a loadout system, right? To have the ability to save loadouts of your pictos to be like, this is the one I want. This is all it. That would be great. But the other problem with here is going back to the icons, right? They're kind of useless because they're not even displayed here. There's nothing to really tell these things apart other than the fact that they have a name and a cost. And, you know, we know which ones are active by, unfortunately, just a little bit of a change in the color of them, right? Not great. I would love to have better ways to see this immediately. I remember doing builds where I'd quickly want to swap a character around and have them use just my solo build, right? So that's the stuff where they get a big bonus when they're fighting alone. It's so annoying to find in here because not only is nothing really sorted well, but things are named differently as well, right? Like you got Accelerating Last Stand, Gain Rush if fighting alone. That's what I want for my solo build. But then you also have Solo Fighter, which is deal 50% more damage if fighting alone. Those two things are very much related because they're both things that benefit you when fighting alone, but they both have very different names. Same with like Last Stand Critical. That's a bonus for fighting alone. I want that. I want that on my build. So the naming of these is not great, but I think it's more a case of like sorting and having these things just presented better, and maybe have them again. Icons would be the go-to because it's one of the immediately recognizable things where you can recognize a group of things. It's hard for the brain to recognize a group of words. Like for example, energizing start 1, 2, 3, and 4. I missed 2. It's hard for your brain to immediately group those 3 together. But if they have a unique icon for that kind of group, your brain can process that much easier. Like, oh yeah, they've got 3 icons. They are related. You don't have to read the words each time and process it. And really, that's one of the secrets to UI design is don't make people think. Don't make people think. Don't surprise them. Just let them do immediately what they want to do. Now, one more example I'm going to present. I'm not going to get footage of this because I'm not meant to play this game off stream. But in battle, there is a really bad tendency. It's hit me. I know it's hit other people. But let's say you're going to heal, right? Let's say your character's on low health and you're going to heal. And low health because you couldn't parry an attack. I know. Shocker. The game defaults to selecting the middle character. And I don't know if that's something that missed QA or is just a holdover of something else or is just something not thought about. But it's terrible, and I have accidentally healed my middle character many, many times because of it, right? If I select a character and I select heal, by default, I would want them to select my own character, right? The character whose current turn it is. Outside of that, you might have like a smart select where it's like, oh, you select the character of the lowest health. That can be kind of better. You can make it even smarter by saying like, oh, select the main character, the character whose turn it is. But if that character is already really high health, like a heal wouldn't make sense on them, then default to selecting the lowest health character. That would be good. Or you could just be super dumb. That's fine as well, right? People can understand how dumb systems work, so that's fine. But making the middle character selected every time just annoys the hell out of me, and I don't know what it is, other than like it's some weird holdover from skills that are meant to target the entire party anyway, so it just defaults to the middle person. But I hate it, and I feel like I've lost multiple fights now because I was using heals on the wrong character. So that's it. That's my main combat point of view. Everything else in there is really great. Really great. Very Persona 5 like, which if you've never played that game, highly recommend it. I just want to do a quick little rant about this because I know people asked me on my stream about my opinion on the game, and I've ranted about this multiple times now. So now I'm just going to tell people, hey, check out this vid. Check out this video. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you liked it. Hope you're enjoying Expedition 33. I am very much enjoying it, apart from this. And the parry checks that I'm being bodied on. Anyway, my name is Edrem. I'll see you later.